Here goes another video. Same outfit, same day. I did not wear it the entire day, I promise. But I was thinking on this topic that I started talking about today, which is self-value and the sense of self-worth. And it's interesting how we'll all have it so differently. I was thinking about one specific example of a charisma. I mean, not even charisma. Okay, let's call it sense of self-worth still. And I was thinking, I got the wind. So windy right now. One specific person that came to my mind today, and I was analyzing his behavior because he was pissing me off a lot by the way he communicates and the way he communicates not just with me but with all of his friends. And he's a grown-up dude. I think he's older than me by 1 year, which is 35, either 35 or 36, I think. And the way he has a lot of friends and everybody is constantly reaching out for him, and he does not reach out to people himself. He does the bare minimum in the best case scenario. What he does most of the time is pick up the phone when someone calls them. Maybe like 2 out of 5 times. Здравствуйте. Проходим. Петя. Okay. Are you feeling better now? Are you feeling like you're in a spotlight? Yeah? Okay. Be a good boy now. Purr into the microphone. He literally rarely picks up the phone. He never makes plans himself. He just accepts when people are inviting him to do whatever. And he still has a lot of friends. And they do reach out despite the fact that he never initiates the contact or like make plans. He fucks up the plans a lot of the time. When you call him 5 times in a row, saying like, okay, here's this thing I want to do. He's like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, let's do the thing. I want to do this thing with you. Oh my God, yes, please, the best thing ever. You're like, okay, I'm not the only one who's pumped about like, yeah, let's do this. And then you don't hear from him. So you're like, weird. Okay. You call him again. You're like, hey, there was this thing? Like, oh yeah, this thing. Oh yeah, yeah, we should do that. No, like suggesting time, place, nothing like that. So you're like, okay, so what is your availability? I'm available at this and this and this time, and like, does it work for you? He'd be like, best case scenario, he does have an availability in mind. Usually what happens, I will get back to you. I'll check my schedule. He does not get back to you. Never. If it doesn't get decided on the spot, it doesn't get decided at all. So, couple or like sometime later, next day or a couple of days later, you already fucking pissed. And you call him and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Are we doing this thing? I thought like you like, yeah, I do want to, oh my god, I'm so sorry. This it's just all of the things are happening, and this is the way I am. I always forget the text. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, but I do value you. Oh my god, you're one of like the closest people. You're like almost like a best friend to me. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry I'm this way. Let's do it on this day. And this is the phone call number 4. And you're deciding, okay, this is the date, this is the time, let's do it. Comes the day. And it comes with a text saying, hey, something came up. Brain check. And you're left in this feeling of just wanting to tell this guy to piss the fuck off and to never speak to him again. But there is a huge but. And that's what I was thinking about today. Because of the way he thinks of himself or organizes his life and treats himself, and because of the way he is sure that there is no lack of people in the world. And I'm not saying by any means that that is a good approach. By no means am I saying that that's how I want to be. But it is such an interesting case to kind of analyze and observe of what influences people and their perception of you. And at the core, you're so cute. At the very core is your self-esteem and sense of self-worth and confidence that no matter what happens, no matter whether the person that is in front of you stays with you or walks away forever, your world will not shatter. Your world will not lose a tiniest bit. Which is not entirely true. I mean, people do bring value in our lives. And I am sure that this kind of way of living and making friends is not sustainable. And it will backfire at some point. Because he has not been like this his entire life. He has been like that in the past, what? Like 3? 2-3 years after a divorce, which is a stage in his life, I guess. But all of his friends are finding workarounds around his behavior. They create Google Calendar like events for him to accept when they make plans with him for, let's say, a dinner or something else, or maybe a movie, because he would forget about it and he would make other plans. And isn't it this fascinating? Like, it is a good, I feel like it is an amazing learning opportunity. At least I am looking at it like this. I'm still pissed off by his behavior, and every time in person we would talk, with his charisma, good old Riz, he persuades you that you are important, but he does not follow it up with action. And it's not just me who accepts this kind of treatment. And I think understanding this and looking at it from a perspective of learning the master's technique, it has made it a little bit easier for me to at some point I really wanted to just tell this guy to go fuck himself, but I might still he might still be useful for me, because he might have connections in the world that I am trying to connect with. But yeah, I didn't really want to cut ties, and I don't like confrontation, and I also don't like ending relationships, even like friendships, even though it is a complicated friendship. I don't like ending things on a bitter note, which me saying, oh fuck you, inside my head and not talking to this person, and him eventually reaching out would be like, it's just like, it's not something that, it's not ideal, it's not what I want. If I were to end this relationship, and I was thinking about it today, then I would probably rather talk in person and ask whether they want me in their life or not, and if they do, there are certain things that need to be done in order for them to have me in their life. Otherwise, it is a goodbye until I need you, if that's okay. But I've made another connection with this kind of behavior, and that is my ex-boyfriend, who had a very similar behavior. And I didn't tell him that. I wish I did. But his friends do not deserve the treatment that he gives them. And by that I mean him just accepting the calls from his friends, just accepting their invitations, and sometimes showing up at places. And why do those people keep showing up is because of his charisma, because of how upbeat he is, and always making jokes, always funny, always positive, always just like he has his own personality. And like both of these guys are unapologetically them. They're so unapologetic about who they are, what they want, what they're willing to sacrifice, what matters and what doesn't. It's set in stone. It's ingrained in their, like, every cell of their being, and they're transmitting it into the world. Are those values right? Are those values, I mean, what is a right value anyway? But do some of their values make them not a very good person or a very good friend? Yes. But that's another question. It's like you can study this kind of phenomena regardless of whether it's like whether it's a sign of a good person or not. You can definitely learn from this behavior and the reaction that people have. And I think that's something that I would definitely want to incorporate in my life. And I've already started small steps towards building my sense of self-worth and towards self-acceptance. Small steps. Let's see. I started asking myself when I started taking more pauses before I decide to do something that I've been known to do as a way of kind of disrespecting myself. And taking a pause before any of that action gives me an opportunity to make a more weighted decision, more like to take more thoughtful action. And I have been doing that. Like, for example, today, every time, oh Jesus, it's approaching my bedtime, and I'm just like, man, I'm sleepy. Which is good. Regimen is good. Being consistent is good. It's one of the ways of showing up for yourself. Being consistent with important things. And sleep is very fucking important. One of the most important things you can do for yourself. Probably, like, lack of food can be beneficial sometimes. Like, if you do fasting or intermittent fasting, fasting can do a lot of good things for your body. It can, I'm sure if you don't know, you can read about it. It's like a completely separate topic, but lack of food can do a good thing for you. Lack of sleep, never. Literally, sometimes even just a missing hour in your sleep impacts so much. And if you didn't sleep well at all at night, most of the time the next day is just like bye-bye. It's just funny. But yeah, I was doing that. I have been doing that. I have been sticking with my sleeping regimen. So kudos to me for showing up for myself in a very simple way. But I was talking about something completely different. Was I talking about small, like, things that I've been doing to show up for myself? I think. Well, that's part of an unscripted video. Sometimes I forget what I was talking about, and I think it's probably the first time I do. But okay, let's assume that I was talking about things that have been showing up for myself. Sleep, keeping my sink clean, and I'm pointing at because sink is over there. I've been doing a little bit of a, like, was I talking about today's? Okay, if I were to talk about how I showed up for myself today, I would still say sleep and sink. But also, I did film a video. I did yoga. I am filming a second video, which is also good. I talked to a couple of friends today, which it is important as a part of strengthening the connections with other people. And they are important to me, therefore, by doing something that is important, I am showing up for myself. I have attended a work meeting, which is a part of me building a career, which is also important for me, and therefore also showing up for myself. I dressed nicely. I think that's what I wrote down yesterday as well. Also a way of showing respect, like making yourself look neat, clean, smell nice. Yeah, and just enjoying the reflection. I feel like it's very important. At least it is for me. So, because I've done that, check. And I also have been eating very mindfully today, which a big step. And I feel like my IBS finally is getting better. But I should not. Every time before that, it would get like, for just half of the day, I would not experience the symptoms. And I'd be like, okay, fine, now I can eat croissants with, I don't know, jam. Give me all the carbs and sugar and just like, no. I should definitely stick with the low FODMAP diet for at least like a week or two, probably two, and I should start really cutting on the portions that I've been eating. And I was so proud of myself today because I was really listening to my hunger rather than emotional eating, and I was able to eat just in order to nourish myself and sustain myself rather than just to stuff my face because I was feeling anxious, nervous, or bored. Big plus. Great job. What else? I didn't get a cake at a restaurant on a date. My date got it because he saw that I wanted it, but that way I got to eat only half of it and not entire thing. I took myself to a gallery. I have created a kind of application or just introduction document for the gallery. I did send it, and I did visit the gallery because my friend she introduced me to the gallery because she was catering for that gallery opening, and they became good friends with the gallery owners, and she thought that my practice and my art would be a good fit for the gallery, and it might be a good fit, but I think the gallery is strictly for LGBTQ plus people, which the concept was kind of, I was thinking about it, and it's an interesting topic. It is understandable that LGBTQ plus people would wanna create a gallery that strongly supports LGBTQ plus artists, but if they were to limit the gallery to purely LGBTQ plus people, wouldn't they be doing the same thing that straight people were doing to them? And it's like, but how are you better than? But it's also understandable that they would want to kind of outweigh the amount of heterosexual people in the art world. But at the same time, there are just simply more heterosexual people in the world. So it's an interesting topic, but yeah, I found it funny. So most likely they will not accept me. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? It was a nice introduction, and it was a good practice. Anyway, a practice of just creating the kind of hello, I'm nice to document, and sending it, and then talking to the gallery owners. I think it was my first time. Yeah, so always good experience, and just, you never know what happens. You just take opportunities that come your way and you make the best of them, and you never know what will happen. Just do whatever, and some of it will stick. That's a good motto. The more you fuck around, the more you find out, which is the best fucking motto. And it is so true, and it's, yeah, it is the way to live your life. To fuck around. Yeah. And I think, yeah, that is the key to happiness. Just keep fucking around. Yeah. And another way that I did show up for myself today, and it is hilarious how the universe just gives you tests, micro tests. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, but tests on, did you learn your lesson? Do you understand this now? And